Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Coach Powell Training Development. I am Coach Powell, and this is the opportunity today to help expand your thinking and your mind about your business plans, about your investment plans, about your plans to be amazing and great in the universe. Now, those of you who know me know I am a big planner, but even more than planning, I'm a specialist in execution. I want to make sure that the plans that you make are quite doable and quite open to opportunities for you to get involved and create and generate sustainable opportunities that help you to generate even more joy and happiness in everything that you do. I'm the person that believes that you should walk every day into the magic of your personal ministry, whatever your calling is, whatever your purpose is, whatever you believe that is destiny's called you to do, or God has put you on this planet to do. I think that it is your business before too long, no matter how old you are, to tap into that and tap into the energy, the focus, the power, the productivity of being able to walk in the light of your purpose. Today, we're going to talk to you specifically, and we're going to begin the next part of our ongoing series on planning, an opportunity to understand how to and why to bring community into your plans. And what do I mean by that? You should be able to, as a business leader, as an entrepreneur, as any kind of leader, you should be focusing on making sure that you are creating an environment around you that feels safe, that feels sacred, that feels like it's special and it's only for the communities that you get to touch so that you can create an engaging, enriching environment for everybody that you get to play with, no matter if they're a stakeholder, an investor, top clients, anyone who would support or be a beneficiary of everything that you have to offer. All of this is important to understand how to develop the community around you. And there are some serious, serious benefits to having the ability and then executing on that ability to develop community 360 degrees around everything you do. That's what we're going to talk about today. So if you're ready, I want you to hold on. I want you to grab your pieces of paper. I want to grab your pencil, your pen, whatever you need to take notes on. If you're using your iPad or whatever you're using, I'm going to be delivering to you today the benefits of planning and executing on your skills and your ability to develop community all around. So before we get to the topic today, I want to get you guys up to date on some things that are happening in the world and in the life of Coach Powell. A few weekends ago, I was able to establish for the first time this year the Leverage Up Conference again. Now, this is something I haven't done for quite a while because I've been up to, you know what, in so many different things, including a total knee operation, a movement of, my father and his whole, the house that basically I grew up in and everything, to another location and making sure that he was all squared away and set up um, for the next episode and the next opportunity in his life. And he happened to get a wonderful, home right across the street from my sister, who's a physical therapist. And, he's doing phenomenally well. I'm so proud of him, and I'm proud of the opportunity and the trust that he has in me in helping to figure out, how to make the home that we grew up in now an investment property, and to figure out how to maximize the opportunities that are there, not just for the people not just for us, but for the people who are going to get the opportunity to live there. So we've selected some great tenants. I think it's going to be an amazing opportunity to grow with this young family and help them, in their first opportunities to build a home together and all this kind of stuff. So this is going to be a great opportunity. So I've been working on that. I've also been working on recovering from my total knee replacement surgery. Recovery is going a little worse than actually expected. I mean, I'm doing well. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I'm glad I got that operation done. But because of the size of my leg and different things that are out there, for me specifically, the recovery is a little slower than we would imagine that it should be. But it's going. It's going, and I'm again very, very thankful for all the people that have helped me. My physical therapist has done an amazing job. My surgeon has done an amazing job. If you guys want some ideas on your total knee replacement concept, and you are here in the Northern Virginia area, really close to the Washington metropolitan area, you might want to give me a call. I got some great insight as a result of the recent activity that's happening in my life. Also, great news, guys. I'm going to do that Leverage Up conference again. I am going to take the time to really, really plan this out because the feedback I've gotten from this thing has been phenomenal. Those who had the opportunity to join us on the Friday night networking session, live networking session, and those who had the opportunity to chime in on the very next day, when hundreds of people from all over the world were attending online. That's why we call it a hybrid conference, because on Friday night we do something special for the VIPs live in person, and then on Saturday we do a special um, uh, online all day version, so that people can really, really take advantage of what we're talking about. This time around, we're going to do something super special. This time around, we're going to dedicate the conference to the veterans and to the federal executives that have been inordinately, I would say, I'm not going to say abused, although I like the word abused. I'm going to say downsized, right-sized, affected negatively by the policies of our current administration. Because here in the Washington metropolitan area, a lot of us, in ways that we might not even know, have been dependent on the federal government, not just for places to work, but for benefits that they're supposed to offer for our veterans and for our federal workforce, as well as um, the government contractors who have to sometimes uh, share in the responsibility of organizing and thinking through all that kind of stuff. So the next Leverage Up conference can be dedicated to those federal workers, those veterans, those federal executives that have been inordinately affected by the current administration's policies and procedures. Okay, having said that, let's get started. Today, again, I promise you, we're going to talk about community, right? And if you haven't subscribed, you haven't followed, you haven't done anything to get this kind of information in front of you on a regular, consistent basis, I suggest you do so right now. We're broadcasting on Facebook, we're broadcasting on LinkedIn, we are broadcasting on YouTube, all simultaneously. Thanks to the wonderful efforts of our StreamYard producer. So thank you very much for that. If you guys need to contact me, my information is on the screen. So all you gotta do is follow up with us. If you want to engage in the chat, please do so. If you want to tell us who you are, where you're coming from, any of that information, even if you're watching this recording, the chat's still open, the chat's still active. Please pay attention because that particular chat is how you get information for yourself as well as for others. And so if you're sharing a question, if you're sharing a thought, believe me, you're not the only one. And this is a community we've built here over the last 2 years, since COVID. We've been working diligently to build a small business community globally that affects as many as we possibly can in a positive way. So if you have some thoughts that you want to share, some ideas, some concepts, please put them out there. Don't be scared. Put your website out there. Put your book launch out there. Put whatever you want to put in the chat. We're looking forward to supporting your ideas and your concepts, because we want people to grow. We don't want to hold you back from whatever God has for you. We want you to receive it, and we want you to be in process of achieving it as soon as is possible. All right, let's get started. Today's topic is about community development, and planning to do community development. But why should you want to do it? Pay attention to this. It's great to have a business plan, one that secures the financial backing that you're going to need to either enter the next phase of development for your business, or an idea or kind of understanding of how you're going to get to the things that you're trying to get to, the goals that you're trying to meet, the accolades that you want, right? But how are you going to create a sense of engagement and belonging for every stakeholder, every referral source, every investor, every top client, everybody who pays attention to you? How are you going to create this sense of engagement and belonging for them? How are you going to give back and get them to help give you the specific trust that you deserve? And how do you leverage that trust into greater levels of success for everyone involved? The good news is that you can and you should plan to develop a sense of community around every aspect of your business and execution strategy. When you're planning, plan to execute the community development piece while you are executing the business development piece, while you are executing the financial management piece, while you are doing your marketing program, while all of that has to happen and should happen simultaneously and give you something to work on that's going to help your business in a mighty way. The more you focus that potential energy on community, building and developing community around you, the more you're going to receive the benefits of having done so. Let's talk a little bit about those benefits. We know now more than ever that community development is a process of improving the social, economic, and environmental conditions of a community through collective action and participation. Let me read that to you again. Community development is the process of improving the social, economic, and environmental conditions of a community through collective action and participation. Not one of those ideas, but all three: social, economic, and environmental. If you're a leader, you should be thinking, how do I do this? When you get this right, you will absolutely be using the power of cooperation, convergence, and collaboration. Now, we're going to get into those three ideas: conversion, cooperation, and collaboration later on. But today I want to talk to you about the benefits of becoming a community leader everywhere you walk, in your business, in your home, in the communities that you live in. What are the benefits to you? Let me tell you, benefit number one is super special, and it goes like this. When you become and you plan and execute something that's going to make you a community development leader, what's going to happen is you're going to enhance your reputation and your brand image. See, people who do this, they demonstrate their commitment to the social responsibility and positive impact of everyone around them. They take that as the serious business of what they're about to do. So it's crucial for businesses of all shapes and sizes that believe or have the opinion that are generally held about them in their chosen niche market are high and remain so. It is important. You want people to have a high level of understanding of your potential, what you're capable of, so they know and they have the proper expectations and they put those things in the proper perspective. They understand your character and your standing wherever you walk. And so you don't have to worry about, are you saying the right things? Are you doing the right things? Because you are being the right person. You must always, no matter what you do and think, be beyond reproach. So the questions you should ask yourself in your planning: do you have a clear call to social responsibility for your groups, for your teams, for the people that you work with that resonates with them? If so, how do you know? And what is the evidence that you have to prove that that calling is there and it's clear to social responsibility? Other questions you might want to ask yourself is, how do people receive you, really? And how do you maintain a stellar reputation in your industry? Again, this is all about enhancing your reputation and your brand image. Number two, when you get that community development piece, that community building piece right, it's going to increase your customer loyalty and your satisfaction. And when I say customer, I mean anybody who you get the opportunity to interact with, right? Anybody who gets to experience and come into your brand, whether that's the role that you play as a father, husband, wife, friend, whatever that is, or the business leader that you are, or the community member that you are. It doesn't matter. What matters most is that the people that you get to interact with, that they are satisfied, because as they create value for their customers and meet their needs and expectations, you are creating value simultaneously for them, and you're meeting their expectations and their needs. Doing all that can be done within reason to create a consistent, faithful investor, referral source, or client is a must. There are no options here to ignore opportunities like this. Because when you do ignore those opportunities, here's what happens. Everybody has to expect the same thing as a principle. When you ignore the opportunities to grow your loyalty and satisfaction around you, you're going to experience abandonment and neglect. Let me be clear. When you get this wrong, the only thing you're going to experience is abandonment and neglect. Now, understand most of us are already operating on razor thin margins. We're not making a tremendous amount of profit. Specifically, if you're in a service business, you're not making a tremendous amount of profit because you're doing so much and it costs you so much to even render the services that you're rendering. Forget the loans that you have to pay back for school. I mean, the equipment loans and the processing loans and the processing money and figuring out how much you have to invest in your business in order to make a hint at, even if you're talking your personal life, you have to make an investment in the people. And I don't mean a financial investment necessarily as much as I mean an emotional investment and a context investment in the people that you work with. So how do you measure this loyalty and this satisfaction that you hope to help to create in other people? Do you use testimonials? Do you use referrals? Do you use recommendations? Are you collecting feedback? How do you process or improve how you do what you do? How do you make that work? What is the data that you are using, collecting, analyzing, and then readjusting so that you can do better at creating an atmosphere of loyalty and satisfaction around you? When you get this community leadership thing correct, the third thing that happens is you attract and you retain top talent. You see, it's important to offer people meaningful work and opportunities for personal and professional growth. Now, what do you mean by that? People should feel good about the work that they do. I know that flies in the face of all of those of us who've been raised to believe that work is work and play is play. But because we're spending such an inordinate amount of time in our lives in the workplace, doing the thing that we need to do to keep food on the table, to keep rent paid, to keep all these things, even if we're business owner, we're spending an inordinate amount of time at the business, on the business, through the business, working, 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 working. The work has to be meaningful. It simply has to be meaningful. And so it needs to be meaningful, not just for you, but for everybody else who gets to play with you. And people should be experiencing the personal and professional growth that they need to experience. Because when you get this right, you get to lead a team that is growing and emerging into a new thing, a new space, and the benefits become even greater. But this only happens when you are a visionary and capable leader. If you want to attract and retain talent, help them do meaningful work, and help create opportunities for their personal and professional growth, you have to be a visionary and capable leader. But here's the thing about developing yourself into that. You can only become that leader when you actually try. I know some of us think you've already arrived. But again, I'm going to go back to you. Question number 2 again. What is the proof that you've arrived and you are leading at a level that can generate endless opportunities and greater thoughts and emergence of greater context of everything that you can do? What's your proof? Because if you can prove it, you can generate it. If you can generate it, you can basically multiply it. And if you can multiply it, then what is really stopping you ever really? So the fourth thing that happens when you become this amazing community development mind, and especially you everywhere you walk, you foster innovation and creativity. I literally have a habit. Almost every time I have a conversation with somebody, they come up with some new ways to do and be better at who and what they are. And as you begin to collaborate with diverse stakeholders and learn from different perspectives and experiences, you become that kind of person that can help people come out of their own creative block, right? You can help them create content. You can help them with their intellectual property to complete successfully and match the potential leverage of the resources of larger, well-financed, and connected competitors. But when you learn to foster innovation and creativity, you also create the best opportunities to collaborate with different stakeholders that have different perspectives and different experiences. And that working collaboratively, I should say, will help you become better at generating and sharing original products and services that advance the goals and the directives, whatever industry you're in any small business ecosystem that you can imagine. This allows you to increase your claim to stability, profitability, and sustainability. So again, questions you might want to ask yourselves: how do you demonstrate your commitment to lead in the communities that you get to lead in? What are you doing to encourage your team to be more engaged and creative in their individual assignments? How do you help to enhance or further understand and develop the systems and technologies that they're going to use regularly? How well are you at following your own example of discipline, adoption, and adaptation? The fifth thing that happens when you start to become this amazing community developer, community builder, um, you know, this community leader, what happens is you automatically improve performance and productivity everywhere you go. What happens is as people optimize their resources and processes because of your energy, because of your passion, because of your communication, because of how you present your ideas and your visionary opportunities, right? They achieve their goals and objectives much better, much faster than they would without you. You see, when leaders commit to tapping and creating opportunities in and amongst their own industry and organizations, they have the highest chance of developing and leveraging stakeholders. When you walk into the room of your peers and you've created an environment where they recognize you as not just one of them, but one of the best of them, you inspire them. You inspire them just vis-a-vis your example, your ability to communicate your ideas, your willingness to share your thoughts with them. You really invite people to not just look at you, but to jump on board, to get involved, to roll up their sleeves and add their uniqueness to yours. Questions you want to ask yourself is: what do leaders of your industry or profession know and or think about your team, about you? What do they say about you in closed chambers? Now, I got a hint. I got to give you a hint there. You don't know what people say behind your back. You know. However, if you've implanted your mentors, you've implanted your advisory council members in places amongst industry professionals, industry executives, you know what? They're going to come back and they're going to report to you. This is your brand. This is your reputation. This is what people are telling. This is what people are saying about you. And when was the last time that you were nominated for an award or you won an innovation or growth um, achievement in your respective industry, your chambers, your association? What do you plan to do to become competitive in that space? I don't even like the word competitive. I like the word collaborative more than I like the word competitive. However, I understand the world that I live in, and people don't always want to play nice. They don't always want to work together. They don't always want to um, peacefully coexist in the collaborative and cooperative opportunities in the world. To them, I say, you got to get the smoke. Because if you don't want to play nice, nice with me, it means you're against me. You're for me or you're against me. And if you're against me, I feel sorry for you because I win. But if you're for me, I feel grateful for you and happy for you because we are going to win. That's kind of how I always think about it. Number 6, again, when you learn to generate the kind of community around you that you should generate, one of the biggest benefits of all, it's not just because it's the last one, is you're going to reduce the risks and the costs of doing whatever you're doing because you're going to be addressing challenges and opportunities in an environment, and you're going to mitigate the negative impact of any of your competitors or anything that might be working against you, including the macro factors that are really beyond your control. The political, economic, social, technological, legal, or environmental macro factors are, if you're a small business, even if you're a business leader of some type, those things are beyond your control. But how you respond to them when they happen, when the hits the proverbial fan, you want to know for a fact that your trusted friends, mentors, advisors, coaches, and even your therapists have got your back. Your inner circle of people that you've been working with. Not that you did on a transaction, or I need you now and I want you to show up. No, no, no. When you are consistent with those people and you're developing your relationships with those kinds of people, when you do need them, they're already there. You don't got to go find them. They're already there. They're a click away, a phone call away, an email away, a text away, because you're actively engaged and they're actively engaged with the mission of your organization and your teams, just like you're actively engaged with the mission and organization of their team. You're not going to ask people to do for you what you're not willing to do for them, but you got to be clear about what you're willing to do for them if you expect them to return the favor. And here it is. If you don't work in collaboration with others, you are working in isolation. And there is no space for human beings in isolation. Human beings are social creatures. We're designed by our creator to work well together and to do phenomenal things together. When we try to do things all by ourselves and all alone, it's only going to be so good for so long. But when we work together in groups and teams and communities that we develop, the sky's the limit on our opportunities. And next week, we're going to be talking about this thing called specific trust that I made mention to a little bit today. And I want you to look forward to that conversation. And I want to look forward to answering any questions that you may have about the benefits of becoming a community builder, the benefits of becoming a community leader, a community advocate, a developer of others in a way that they feel like family, like they're related, like they're connected, like they need to be with one another, because that's a human need. And if you create that environment where they feel safe playing with each other, you're going to be amazed at what happens. And again, let me repeat those benefits to you. What's going to happen for you quite easily is you're going to enhance your reputation and your brand image. You're going to increase your customer loyalty and satisfaction. You're going to attract and retain top talent around you every time. You're going to foster and innovate and foster innovation and creativity. You're going to impress and improve upon your performance and productivity. And finally, you want to reduce risks and costs. All 6 of these ideas are going to be something that you can master and generate and create over and over and over and over in expansive ways. People often, they kill me about, well, oh, we're gonna scale. and we're going to do this, and we're going to create this great growth pattern, and we're going to make these major achievements and goals and blah, blah, blah. And I asked them, for what reason? What's the point of it all for you? And they often go, well, the point is just to do it, to say I've done it. And you feel good about the accomplishment, the achievement, and that's great. But is that sustainable? Can you continue to do that? Can you build a legacy on that? Or is it always going to demand that you're the one who is, slaying the dragon constantly? I mean, at some point, you can't slay the dragon. You just don't have what it takes, no matter how great or wonderful you are. If you haven't duplicated not just your abilities, but your sensibilities to others, then I got the feeling you're going to be responsible for slaying the dragon all the time. And everybody else is going to sit back and let you do it because you seem to want to do it. Don't be that person. Don't be the person that doesn't share the wealth. Don't be the person that doesn't inspire others to get on board. Like I said, next week we're talking about specific trust. How do you get it? How do you win it? How do you speak about it? How do you manufacture it? Because it is super important to any type of collaborative effort. If you're going to cooperate with others, you're going to have to learn how to build trust and not just build it slowly, but quickly and effectively. And that's what we're going to talk about next week. So I hope you guys are ready. I hope you're locked in. I hope you're ready to get in and dig deep. If you have any questions, again, my information is scrolling across the screen. If you miss it, it's not because I didn't try to make sure you have it, right? If you have thoughts, ideas, you want to post, you want to share that in the comment section, share the information below, and just let's go. Let's do it, right? I'm going to end the stream now because I hope you guys are having a good time. It's about half an hour into the game. That's good enough. If you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and keep this party going for myself. Good to see you all. I'm out of here. Welcome to Coach Power.